Today I'm going to talk about Shakudo. I feel like I've talked about Shakudo before maybe, but there's a lot to learn about it. So Shakudo is Japanese mixed metal work, and it was very common in the late Victorian period when they were first starting to open the borders with Japan, and they first started traveling to Japan and they wanted to come back with something lovely. That one of the things that the Brits chose to bring back was this kind of Japanese mixed metal work. The history goes back a lot further than that. The samurai used this kind of technique to decorate their swords. And actually it's called a tsuba, and it's a round thing, and it actually looks like a gigantic plug, almost like an electrical plug is how I always think of it. It has 3 holes in the middle, and one was for the sword to go through, and on either side the daggers on either side of the sword would kind of flank it. And so it was this 3-tiered piercing machine, and the emperor got a little persnickety and maybe not so nice, and he stripped the samurai of their powers in the late 19th century. And at that point the samurai had to find other ways to use this technique that they had had forever and ever. It's actually really sad when you think about it, but they transferred the abilities that they used to use to decorate all of their accoutrements into making things for the Western markets to come and purchase. So we get all these pins and brooches and necklaces and earrings and rings that have Shakudo in them, and they're from this particular time period. Like all things, some of them are much better quality than others, some are more beautiful than others, and the themes change. But in the late Victorian period in Britain, we call it the aesthetic movement took over, and Japonazerie became very popular. So there's a lot of demand for this, and you find it and you see it. Nowadays, do you see so much of it being produced? No, but you see other kind of mixed metal things like akumagane and other things that you see in the market. But in terms of this, when I see it, I'm always pretty excited, especially if the condition's good. So what is it? When I say it's mixed metal, it tends to be a copper base that's darkened like this. It's dark like that. And then they have different little gold and copper or silver animals or creatures on the surface. So this one in particular has birds, and it has flowers, and it has leaves, and it's actually really pretty. And the main piece looks like a fan, right? So then I have this one that's more of an oval piece, more rustic looking, but it actually has a little red enamel so that you can see the chickens or the roosters, whatever they may be, in higher relief. And then this is my very favorite piece we have. It's probably I used to work for somebody for years that she loves Shakudo, and she had a beautiful bangle I was obsessed with. But in addition, when I found this piece, I got really excited, and it's really beautiful. And I don't know how much you can see it, but it has a teeny tiny mouse, and it's like a Japanese screen. And you see how the way the piece is made and it's set, and that's beautiful engraving on the side, all very late Victorian and kind of a rosy gold, with this beautiful piece in the middle with the sweet little mouse. Again, this is like just really rarefied and lovely. And of course, then you also going to have the stuff that looks a little bit more like, I think my kids would love this because it reminds me of anime, but it looks like a samurai with a sword, but he kind of looks like a demon. And then I also have these cool earrings. So there's always a little something to choose from, and everybody has their favorite.